Welcome to the Scottish Rite Journal podcast, an audio presentation of the Scottish Rite Journal, brought to you by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the World. This week's article is A Scottish Rite Decalogue by Brother Lucas Walsh, 32nd degree KCCH, and comes from the September-October 2025 issue of the Scottish Rite Journal. Freemasonry, according to illustrious Albert Pike, 33rd degree in his first degree entered apprentice lecture in Morals and Dogma. Nothing usurps the place of, nor apes religion, but it is plainly religious in nature. In this spirit, Pike proposed a decalogue meant to express not the tenets of one faith, but a universal morality. The Decalogue most commonly refers to the 10 Commandments or 10 Maxims of Moses, delivered, according to the Bible, by the God of Abraham to the Hebrew prophet Moses at Mount Sinai after the Exodus from Egypt. Although the literal phrase 10 Commandments does not appear in Scripture, the commandments are enumerated in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17, and Deuteronomy chapter 5, verses 4 through 21. It is generally accepted that these principles represent a cultural and liturgical touchstone for Jewish and Christian adherents. They have endured to the present day, and there is something appealing about a short list of seemingly universal rules from which few in the Judeo-Christian tradition can dissent. Why, then, did Pike propose his own decalogue of moral principles in the very first degree lecture of Morals and Dogma? And is it prudent to consider these maxims to be a rubric for Masonic students? It is well known that Morals and Dogma is not intended to be viewed as an unchallengeable and authoritative text on the teachings of Freemasonry. The Supreme Council even stated as much in the preface to the first edition in 1871, which in part reads, "The teachings of these readings are not sacramental, so far as they go beyond the realm of morality into those of other domains of thought and truth. Everyone is entirely free to reject and dissent from whatsoever herein may seem to him to be untrue or unsound." If we may be permitted to understand a law to not be only prescriptive and authoritative in itself, but also a mechanism for maintaining social identity and cultural cohesion, then the relationship between Pike's usage and the original Hebrew Decalogue begins to coalesce into a special meaning. The Masonic Decalogue is as much an identity marker as it is a charge to every Mason. Consider, for example, the first of Pike's commandments. God is the eternal, omnipotent, immutable wisdom and supreme intelligence and exhaustless love. Thou shalt adore, revere, and love him. Thou shalt honor him by practicing the virtues. This command has little to do, thematically or conceptually, with the first of the biblical commandments, which reads in part, "I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage." Exodus chapter 20, verse 2. In his quest for universality, Pike omits overt allusions to the God of the Hebrews. He, in fact, takes extra pains to include attributes of a universal and omnipotent God, although, of course, by implication Pike has integrated the concept of YHWH into his universalist assertion of Masonry's origins. Not insignificantly, the first commandment of Moses terminates with the command, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." Exodus chapter 20, verse 3. Pike's second commandment opens, "Thy religion shall be, to do good because it is a pleasure to thee, and not merely because it is a duty." Thematically, this bears a striking similarity to the New Testament idea of self-sufficiency being inadequate as a standard of good. In fact, Pike later agrees with New Testament doctrine, that of James chapter 1, verse 27, when he quotes in the 14th degree, Perfect Elu, lecture of Morals and Dogma, "Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world." Exploring further, a central notion of the Scottish Rite 31st degree, Inspector Inquisitor, is that doing only as much for your fellows as the laws of man require, and no more is sufficient for condemnation in the afterlife. The commandments of Moses were a blueprint for the people of a specific time and place, but the Scottish Rite Decalogue offered by Albert Pike differs. It is built upon the supposition that Masonry itself is universal, transcending the exigencies of any one particular people, geography, religion, or creed, that it contains an assemblage of the best of man's effort to regulate his passions and liberate his mind, and that is a scaffold erected for all good men to stand upon, together, to labor for the expansion of the empire of reason and the promise of a better world for everyone, everywhere. Like and share this article, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you wish to comment, please leave one, and as a reminder, hit the notifications bell. Any accompanying photographs or citations for this article can be found in the corresponding print edition. The Scottish Rite Journal is published by the Supreme Council of the Scottish Rite, Southern Jurisdiction, Mother Supreme Council of the World. Mark Dreisenstock, 33rd Degree, Managing Editor. I'm your host, Matt Bowers.